Blog Talk Radio.
What's going on, folks? It's your boy Long Beach Joe, and I am back at it again. I'm back at it again, man. Listen, we got quite a bit to discuss, okay? Oh, boy. The New York Jets took an awful loss to the Denver Broncos. Oh, my goodness. Terrible. We're going to be talking about that. We're also going to be talking about the New York Jets' upcoming game against the Vikings. That's going to be in London. Coming off this loss is going to get ugly. Also, Devontae Adams has let the Raiders know that he prefers to be traded. We're going to be covering that. That's breaking news that just happened, so we're going to be talking about that. Everyone, listen, call in. 515-602-9639 is the number. So I can talk all day, but let me go ahead and get the show started. Listen, I am the man of the people. I'm here for the people. Let me shamelessly promote my Facebook page. Everyone go on Facebook, search The Long Beach Joe Show. Like that page. My content's up there. Go ahead and give it a listen. Message me. I'll message you right back. I love going back and forth with you folks about this football team. Also, leave me some feedback. I love hearing about what you folks think I do here on The Long Beach Joe Show. Okay? I really do. I appreciate that. I'm also on Twitter as well, okay? I'm going to continue to say Twitter, so y'all just got to let it go, okay? For those of you that always hit me, Joe, it's not Twitter. They hit me up, oh, it's X, it's this. Listen, it's Twitter. It's always going to be Twitter, okay? So y'all just got to let it go. Going over to Twitter, at The Long Beach Joe, at The Long Beach Joe on Twitter. Go ahead and follow your boy. I'll follow you right back. And if you want to troll me, hey, let's go back and forth and have fun. I have a lot of spirited discussions on Twitter, okay? I have a lot of spirited discussions, man. I try not to argue, but you know, I have spirited discussions over there. People want to get loud and yell, so I'll go ahead and get loud too. So going over there at The Long Beach Joe on Twitter, I have a lot of fun. Also, the show's audio, okay, for those of you that may not know, the podcast is on iTunes, okay? Going over to iTunes, type in The Long Beach Joe Show, The Long Beach Joe Show on iTunes. Okay, follow the podcast over there. Leave me a 5-star rating, all right? And leave me some feedback over there as well. I want to thank everybody that does that. Again, I'm always shocked when people listen to me from all over the world, particularly, the people from overseas, okay? Germany, Ireland, the UK. I got people that listen to me from Australia, all over the world, Africa, the Middle East, everywhere, all of you, okay? I want to absolutely thank y'all and, let you know, hey, I'm shocked. I'm shocked that you're listening, and I want to thank you for listening. And they let your boy know that they listening too, okay? Some of y'all be hitting me up like, Joe, we listen to you. Thank you for the content, and then they go back and forth, okay, with me as well. So I want to thank all of y'all. And, again, I want to thank all of the listeners. From the U.S., everywhere, East Coast, West Coast, Canada, okay, Mexico, everywhere, okay, I want to thank you. But, man, am I shocked that I have so many overseas listeners. So, again, The Long Beach Joe Show on iTunes. Give it a follow, and let's go back and forth. For those of you also that do not know, I'm on YouTube as well, okay? Some of y'all stumble into the show on that mode. And, say, hey, Joe, you're handsome. I've had a lot of the ladies say, Joe, you are handsome. We are, we love the show. We love to hear your takes. We're Jets fans through and through. But, Joe, you're looking good. I say thank you, ladies. I'm not an arrogant guy. I just work with what I got. But if you want to check out the show, for those of you that may not know, we do it live on YouTube as well. Come on over to YouTube. Type in Long Beach Joe Jets. Long Beach Joe Jets on YouTube. All right, subscribe to the channel, okay, and hit that notification bell. So when I post content, you'll be in the know. Give the video a thumbs up, and come check out all the content I'm putting on there, all right? I put up videos. Again, we also live stream the show. Now, keep in mind, when you come over here, all right, we live stream the show, you're going to have to deal with some people, okay? That's my chat, man. I call them the savages, okay? You want to know why? Because they're savage. Listen, man, they don't play around. They don't play around. My chat does not. They don't joke. They don't laugh, all right? If they don't like what you bring into the table, they going to let you know, okay? Well, they do laugh. They laugh. They laugh. They do be laughing at people, but they'll definitely let you know. They're very strong and opinionated people. So please be aware of that when you come here because, nobody's safe. Not even me. If they don't like my take, they're going to let me know. Salute to Christopher Phillips in the chat. Savage, I see you. Lil Balloon, always good to see you in the building as well. Outlaw, salutes. Good to see you. Quincy D, salutes. JJ, what's going on? Edward Stewart, salutes and respect to you as well. Again, all the savages in the chat, please put your thoughts, questions, comments on the topics in the chat, and I will come to you in between calls. We have a little bit to cover. We're going to move through it quickly. We're going to get to the calls in just a second. Again, 875-VAL will be coming to you in a second. All right. New callers as well. Hold on. The number to call in again, 515-602-9639. All right. So quickly, listen. New York Jets take terrible loss to the Denver Broncos. My goodness, it was ugly. I mean, they came out so sloppy and slow and lethargic and just absolutely ridiculous. And the penalties, they were atrocious. I'm talking awful, man. Awful. The New York Jets had 13 penalties in this football game. And it was actually more than that because the Denver Broncos were declining penalties at one point that was happening, that were committed by the New York Jets. It was insane. The coaching was awful. There was a lack of adjustments and a lack of communication as well on the field between the players. You could clearly see that too. All right. The Jets offense, everything was off. There was a ton of pre-snap penalties. All right. Breece Hall, I think, had 2 false starts. You had holding calls. You had all kinds of stuff. Just ridiculous. This offensive line got booked as well against the Broncos. We'll be talking about that. Gave up 5 sacks. Okay. And Aaron Rodgers was taking shots. The day started with a fumble by Garrett Wilson. He put the ball on the ground early. The Jets' second possession had 3 penalties in it. 3 penalties. Breece Hall continues to look as up and down as you can get. He had 10 carries on the day for 4 yards. I'm going to say it again. Breece Hall, the guy that we absolutely love, we think the world of, had 10 carries for 4 yards. Insanity. You would think that Braylon Allen will be more involved in the game, right? Braylon Allen only had 8 carries for 34 yards, okay? We actually got down to the Broncos' 1-yard line. We're at the goal line trying to punch it in. You would think that Braylon Allen would get the ball there, right? That's our big bruising back. No, not at all. Breece Hall got the ball twice. They tried to run it in. That got stuffed by Denver's front. And then it was some weird pass to the right that didn't work out. I think Solomon Thomas was the target there. I know, Solomon Thomas, yes. The defensive tackle, I believe, was the target on that pass. It was insane. We had to settle for a field goal after a false start because we went out there on 4th down to try to get another play to get it in. False start, and we had to settle for a field goal. Insanity. Insanity. The defensive play was solid in the first half. They actually held the Broncos after a fumble by Garrett Wilson. They held Bo Nix to -7 yards passing in the first. They also got a fumble as well that helped the New York Jets cash in for a field goal there. But in the second half, listen, Williams started ripping runs. McDonald commits a penalty. He's lining up off sides. That helps them continue to move the ball down the field. Eventually, Bo Nix found a way to get a pass to Cortland Sutton. Touchdown, man. The Jets offense was trying to get things together. It was insane. Aaron Rodgers found Garrett Wilson for a great catch along the sidelines. That was challenged but upheld. And then he hit Alan Lazard on a big play as well, right? Denver 18 after the catch. Well, Alan Lazard decides to do some pew-pew hands, and they give him a penalty for that because that's unsportsmanlike conduct. That pushes the Jets from the Denver 18 to the Denver 33. A promising drive that looked like it was going to end up in the end zone, and then boom. That's all just pushed the crap. The Jets actually had to settle for a field goal on that drive. Denver continues on. He's ripping runs, man. They get down. Now, mind you, Williams, their running back, 16 carries, 77 yards. The Broncos as a whole, the team as a whole, rushed 126 yards against the New York Jets. They ended up getting a field goal after that. So now they're up 10-9, man. They're up 10-9, and everything is on the line here, okay? Man, Aaron Rodgers comes back out with the Jets offense. He's throwing the ball around, and guys are not looking. It seems like there's just miscommunications left and right, okay? On 3rd and 10, okay, 3rd and 10 with the game on the line, Aaron Rodgers drops back, and they have drawn up a play. Xavier Gibson, the football. You have got to be kidding me. You got to be kidding me. On 3rd and 10 with the game on the line, we got all these other playmakers. And I'm not disrespecting Xavier Gibson. We know that he's a guy that's coming along. But Garrett Wilson, you got Mike Williams, you got Alan Lazard, you got Tyler Conklin. What in the world would make you drop a play to get Xavier Gibson the ball on 3rd and 10 with the game on the line? What are you doing? Keep in mind, Mike Williams, right, was the guy that was going up and getting everything in this game for the New York Jets. Everything. Man had 4 catches for 67 yards. Why are we not going to him in crunch time? Why are we going to Xavier Gibson? It seemed like there was a miscommunication there because it looked like Aaron Rodgers was trying to throw a shoulder ball, and Xavier Gibson was on a go route. What's going on around here, man? Of course, that ball fell incomplete going to Xavier, and Aaron Rodgers took a shot on 4th down for a sack. That was turnover on downs. Aaron Rodgers was 24 of 42, 225 yards on the football, and he was sacked 5 times. 5 times on the night. He took shots, bro. And there's clearly something going on with him because he was grabbing his hamstring when he got up after getting sacked. He kind of limped off the field. I know that they're trying to say that nothing's wrong with him, but there's something that's going on here. And maybe that'll continue to play out as the season goes on. We'll start to see what actually is going on with him. Took a beating against the Broncos. Now you would think the game would be over there, right? At that point, I thought it was over. Well, the Jets defense came out and got a stop. It held the Broncos. The Broncos line up for a 50-yarder. Will Lutz misses it. Jets are in business. We got the ball on the 40. Now, do we deserve to win this game? Not necessarily, but that doesn't always matter in the NFL. What usually matters in the NFL is, did you do enough to win the game? Did you do enough, okay, to win this game? If you did enough, hey, you can take it. Sometimes you get victories you don't necessarily deserve, but does that matter? No. When you look at the win-loss, right, when you look at those numbers, the W or L, did you do enough to get that W? That's all that matters. Jets get the ball on the 40. Aaron Rodgers in this offense comes back out. Aaron Rodgers drops back, tries to get the ball to Mike Williams. It's a pass interference call on the Broncos' big call, right? Now the ball's on Denver's 36. We're in good business here. We're in good business. We run some plays out. We don't get anything after that. Zerline lines up for a 50-yard field goal, and we miss it wide right. Game over. Game over. Self-inflicted wounds. Self-inflicted wounds. Far too many by the New York Jets. This is an inexcusable loss. It's inexcusable. And I have nothing but respect to Denver Broncos, and we'll get to the callers in just a second. I have nothing but respect for the Denver Broncos or their fan base and their fan base. But we're a better team than the Denver Broncos. But when you allow teams to hang around and you commit as many penalties as we did, right, and you're as undisciplined and as sloppy as we were, this is what's going to happen to you. You're going to lose. You're going to get losses. That's what's going to happen. That's what's going to happen. The fact that we were so poorly coached in this game is insane. You know that Sulla barely blitzed Bo Nix? He barely blitzed him. He blitzed Jacoby Brissett and the Patriots more than he blitzed Bo Nix. Bo Nix is a rookie quarterback. Rookie. You bring those blitzes, you bring the house so that he has to think very fast and get the ball out of his hands. Force him into making bad decisions. We didn't do that. We didn't do that at all. Broncos made adjustments at the half. We didn't adjust at all. You know the Jets had 0 sacks in this game? I'm going to say it again, man. The Jets had 0 sacks in this game. 0. That is insane. That's insane. Once that second half came, we were finished. Far too many idiotic things going on here with the New York Jets. And this was an embarrassing loss. Completely embarrassing. At home, at MetLife, this happened. We lost to the Denver Broncos at MetLife after having 10 days to prepare for this game. Mind-blowing. We'll be talking about this tonight as well. We got a game coming up against the Vikings. And again, breaking news, okay, for those of you that may not know, Davante Adams has notified the Raiders that he too being traded. And I want you folks to hear this directly from the horse's mouth. Ian Rappaport, here you go.
I'm Bridget Condon in the NFL Network newsroom with breaking news coming Tuesday afternoon regarding Raiders wide receiver Davante Adams. Ian Rappaport, our NFL Network insider, putting this tweet out. Raiders star wide receiver Davante Adams informed the team that he preferred to be traded for Ian and Mike Garafolo. There's nothing imminent but a situation to watch for sure. I want to welcome in Ian Rappaport, who just made that tweet. Ian, what is going on? We heard some things this morning from Davante Adams. We saw Antonio Pierce liked something on Instagram. What more can you tell us?
A fascinating and major development for the Las Vegas Raiders. Sources tell me and colleague Mike Garafolo that Davante Adams yesterday went to the team and said he preferred to be traded, wanted to be traded. Obviously, this is a situation that I think everyone has been watching for probably more than a year, ever since it became clear that Davante Adams could maybe potentially end up being on the trading block, something that the Raiders have not wanted to do, have certainly resisted over the course of the last several months. Teams have called, several teams have called. In fact, there is going to be a very, very real market for Davante Adams. Every time teams have called, they've been told the same thing. The Raiders are trying to win, and they have no intention of trading him. And then the team went out there and won without him this past weekend. Yesterday, Davante Adams informs the organization that he would prefer to be elsewhere. My understanding is there is nothing imminent. In other words, there is no trade going on right now. The Raiders have, I would say, canvassed several teams in the NFL, looked at a potential market, just see what maybe potentially they could get. That is one scenario. There are also scenarios where Davante Adams lands back with the Raiders, stays there, everything ends up okay. There are certainly a couple different ways this could go. But as of right now, the most important news regarding Davante Adams is that he has told the team he prefers to be elsewhere. Absolutely something we're going to continue monitoring today, tomorrow, next week, and right up through the NFL trade deadline.
Ian, a couple of things here. Davante Adams, of course, traded to the Raiders from the Packers in 2022. He's in the middle of his third season. We all know that he played with Aaron Rodgers and the Packers. Could we see him with Aaron Rodgers and the Jets, or is that out of the question?
I would say nothing is out of the question. You want to connect the dots, you can certainly connect him to his good friend Aaron Rodgers and the New York Jets. I'm not saying the Jets are going to do it, but we know in the past, certainly they are among the teams that have been interested. And there's been several others, right? I mean, we know the teams that have been in the market for a receiver. It has certainly been a topic this past offseason. We know the Steelers were in big on Brandon Ayuk. We know the New Orleans Saints have Davante Adams' good friend Derek Carr. There are plenty of teams we are going to be discussing here, right? I mean, and look, you want to talk about another one? The San Francisco 49ers were a team that called around for a receiver before they ended up doing the Brandon Ayuk deal. There has been plenty of teams that are looking for a receiver. And if you're a team looking for a final piece of a championship, you want to make that final run. Davante Adams is still one of the best receivers in the NFL. Certainly, you're going to make the call.
Listen, this continues on, right? We know that there's a lot of Jets fans that are extremely hot on Davante Adams and, bringing him to the New York Jets. I don't know if it's going to happen. But as we know, right, there's tons of connections, about the Jets. Between the Jets and Davante Adams. There's been tons of rumors swirling from way back that the Jets were extremely interested in acquiring Davante Adams. But again, now with this whole shakeup, his market is huge. You're going to have a lot of teams in this market, and I know that there's a lot of Jets fans that are going to definitely be screaming yet again to bring him to New York and make him a New York Jet. And we're going to be talking about that tonight as well. I don't know if it's possible. I don't know if it's feasible. I personally, at this point, don't necessarily think it is, because the draft capital it's going to take, I think, to get him, you're going to definitely have to give up something, and you're also going to have to pay him as well. And when you look at the condition of the New York Jets at this point, I don't know if this would be a destination he'd want to be. Can't beat the damn Broncos, huh? All right. Listen, we'll be talking about that tonight. 515-602-9639. 515-602-9639 is the number. Call in. Again, when you call in, please be patient. We'll get to everybody. Trust me, we're going to be moving through calls tonight. The lines are hot. Salute and respect to all of the savages in the chat. Please give the stream a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. Hit that notification bell so when I post content, you'll be in the know. Also, share the stream across your social media with your friends and your family. There's only one rule on my show. For my new callers, do not call in here cursing, because I get you out of here fast. I'm talking fast. Faster than the New York Jets can commit a penalty. That's fast. Faster than Breece Hall can only have 4 yards on 10 carries. That's fast. Faster than the New York Jets can sleepwalk against a team that they should absolutely beat, but they end up coming out with a loss. That's fast. That's fast. That's fast. I'll tell you what, the lack of pass rush in this game on Bo Nix, I'm wondering, is anybody I see a lot of Jets fans now screaming, hey, we need to get the deal done with Hassan Reddick. Get him in the building. What you want to scream for Hassan for now? Y'all didn't want him. Now you want to scream for him now. Okay. We're getting to these lines again. 515-602-9639. 515-602-9639 is the number. Call in. First caller, we're going to Chris. Chris, we're coming directly to you, 857. Val, JJ, Brick, I see you in the building. 415, we'll come to you in a second, but we got to get to Chris. For those of you that do not know, this man, Chris, he's a savage.
Yes,
Chris,
sir.
salutes. I'm sitting here talking to you, man, after a awful loss to the Broncos, 8-9.
Yep.
What were your thoughts about the atrocious coaching and the awful penalties that we saw the Jets commit against this Broncos team?
There's no way to look at this, but the Jets took this game for granted. You can look at it. They thought they had it. They underestimated the Denver Broncos. And one of the things you go into a game is you never underestimate your opponent. And I think that the Jets underestimated their opponent. I think they did, and that comes from the top. That comes from the coaching, and it's a shot at them. It's a shot at them. Can they really coach this team with these players and win a championship? It's really an indictment on this coaching staff. There's no way to look about it.
No, and you're right, Chris. I don't know if you're in a headset or something, but you sound a little bit far away from your phone. If you can kind of clear up your situation over there, it'd be great.
Yeah.
Listen,
yep.
I hear. Say it again.
Yep. I hear you.
Yeah, I hear you better. Okay, I hear you a bit better.
Okay.
So, listen, I hear exactly what you're saying, right? And that's what blows my mind is there was a lot of Jets fans that I had the discussion with after the game because that loss was so rough. And they said a lot of the same things that you said. Hey, the Jets took them for granted. Hey, the Jets thought it was just, whatever. They underestimated this team. And I said to myself, how could you underestimate any team, right, when you're walking into a year that has such huge expectations on it? Especially, again, if you're Sulla, you're on the hot seat, brother. If you don't get to the playoffs or you don't get something done, you're going to get fired. And we all know that. And we came into this year with that on our minds. You understand that there's Super Bowl expectations, and that's on your mind. Hold on a second, Chris. Here's the deal. If you come in against the Denver Broncos and I'm Robert Sulla, I know you got a young rookie quarterback. The first thing I'm going to do is light his keister up. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make him extremely uncomfortable. I'm going to send blitz after blitz after blitz after blitz after blitz until he shows me that he understands how to get the ball out, until he shows me that he can diagnose something, until this rookie quarterback shows me that he can beat a blitz, he's going to get a heap of it constantly. The Jets barely sent any pressure at all. I think they only blitzed the ball 5 times.
Right.
They only blitzed Bo 5 times the entire game. The rookie quarterback, and you only blitzed him 5 times. And you only have one pass rusher on your squad at this point, Will McDonald, who's still taking steps forward. But he's the only guy you can identify at this point. How can you excuse that? I mean, to me, Chris, that is completely ridiculous. What are your thoughts?
I'm not mad at I'm not mad at the defense. I think the defense pretty much did a good job on the game. Like I said, I think they did. I think one of the things when you blitz a quarterback, especially a running quarterback, you leave lanes for open, and I think that they wanted to not leave the thing for big games. Like when you blitz a quarterback, like there's a running quarterback, you leave lanes open for a quarterback to run. So they wanted to give him the option to actually be a quarterback, and obviously he has a lot to be desired. But here's the ultimate point. Saleh's not going anywhere, okay? And here's what I'm telling you, and unfortunately the Jet fans that are going to
you talking about after the season? Or are you talking in season?
Yeah, after the season.
I just want to clarify.
This is why. Okay.
You don't think he's going to get fired if the Jets don't go to the playoffs?
No. And here's why.
Give us your take. I disagree. Go ahead.
Here's why. We're locked into this Aaron Rodgers experiment for at least another 2 years. Okay, at least we're locked into this thing, and Aaron Rodgers is going to play another 2 years. We're not getting rid of these guys. And listen, I'm gonna challenge everybody. How about some blame on the players? I mean, there's so much you could do as a coach. You can't go on the field and make some of these guys, think they have to be held accountable for what they do on the field. You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing. They were feeling themselves too much, right? And it's on the players to execute the game plan to actually do it. It was the players' fault. Not to say coaches does everything. And like I said, and out of a season, you're going to have one game you're going to lose and one game you win. Hopefully this is one game that they lost that they're supposed to win, and one game that they're supposed to lose, they win. So I don't think the season is over.
Chris.
I think this is a game that we can bounce back from.
Here's the deal: if players are not playing, okay, because I also the Aaron Rodgers experiment. Listen, you're gonna have to pay him a lot of money, okay? You're gonna have to pay him quite a bit of money, especially 2026 if this continues on with the experiment. I believe, and you heard Woody Johnson and everyone else, if the Jets come out and do not do what they need to do, pretty sure that Saleh is going to get fired, especially when they're coming out and looking like this. We lost to
What's the alternative,
inferior team. Hold on, Chris. With the expectations on this, again, and I want to be clear before I say this, I don't think they'll fire Saleh in season at all. I don't think they'll do that. I'm not a Jets fan screaming for them to fire him right now. That is not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is if he does not get it done and the team is coming out looking like this, getting completely out-coached by Sean Payton, you come out, your team looks unprepared, they're sloppy, they're committing penalties, right, at heavy clips like we've seen throughout his tenure here. They look completely unprepared after 10 days. You can't allow this to continue happening. You can't. How does he not get fired? Because now the excuses are gone. You had Aaron Rodgers. This isn't Zach Wilson as your quarterback. That's not that. You got weapons, brother. Okay, you got Mike Williams. You got Alan Lazard actually playing like Alan Lazard. You got Garrett Wilson. You have an offensive line. These guys aren't scrubs. This is not what you've had in the past. You have tools and weapons at abundance here, and your team is still coming out looking like this. You cannot excuse that. You cannot excuse that. And if we're talking about, and I'll give you the last word on this, Chris, if we're talking about players coming out and not playing to potential or not doing what they're supposed to do, right? Because even Aaron Rodgers talked about this because the false starts and stuff after the game, they asked Robert Saleh about that. And he said, it's the cadence. We might need to change our cadence. And Aaron Rodgers himself said, I don't think we should change the cadence. I don't think we need to change anything. How about we just hold guys accountable? If guys are not doing what they're supposed to do, if they're not playing the way that they're supposed to play, if guys are committing penalties like we've seen since he's been here, hold their keepers accountable. You get pulled out the game. Hey, do you think Mike Tomlin would deal with this? No, he wouldn't. Do you think that the Patriots old coach would deal with this? No. Belichick? No. None of these guys would deal with this stuff. None of those top coaches would deal with this. If you don't do what's necessary, then you're going to find yourself on the bench. Point blank, period.
But this is what I'm saying.
If you're not holding guys accountable, then what is there to do? I'll give you the final word.
But this is what I'm saying. This is what y'all don't understand. This team has just been put together. We're not in the 10th week of the season, and this is a new team. It's going to take guys a little bit of time to assimilate, and I think the Jets are going to make that Davante Adams. Listen, wait a minute.
Go ahead.
This is the first year Aaron Rodgers has been the quarterback. Am I correct or not?
You're not. Aaron Rodgers has been here for 2 years.
No,
he was
but
quarterback
this is the first
last
year
season
he's
before
been.
he went
Wait
down.
a minute. This is the first year he's been full-time quarterback. Am I correct? Yes.
The first year he's been healthy so far. He's played more than one game.
As speaking for a Jet fan has been here for all my life. I'm not for firing this. Even if they don't make the playoffs, I'm on this thing for 2 years because there's damn sure not a quarterback in the NFL draft that we're going to get that's better than Aaron Rodgers. There's damn sure not a quarterback that we're going to get and trade that's better than him. And we're going to make that the Davante Adams trade because the Raiders want Hassan Reddick. So that's going to happen. So you're telling me you're going to fire? You're going to fire? You're going to?
Who's told you that?
Raiders want.
I've never heard the Raiders want Hassan Reddick.
Wait a minute. The Raiders want to compete this year. They want a player. They want picks. They want picks and a player. They just don't want. They just don't want a picks. They don't. Wait a minute. They don't want a pick. They want to win now. So they want to get a player plus a pick. So if the Jets give up a second-round pick and Hassan Reddick for Davante Adams, you think they're going to fire his offensive coordinator and start all over again? No. We're in this for another. Whether you like it or not,
the Raiders would take that, Chris? Who says the Raiders would take that? Here's my issue, right? And again, I'll give you the final word. Here's my issue. Just thinking that the Raiders are going to take Hassan Reddick in a second-round pick, you're only wanting to get rid of Hassan Reddick because he's a headache for you. Why would the Raiders want to inherit that headache? Why would they want to inherit that? They already know that he couldn't get a deal done in Philly. Wanted out of there. Philly literally gave him to the Jets. He's one of the top pass rushers. So now he can't get a deal done with the Jets, holds out, has been sitting out since he got traded, never showed up to anything at all, and there's clearly issues between him and the New York Jets. Why would the Raiders look at him and go, oh, yeah, we'll take him off your hands easily and get a second-round pick and we'll give you Davante Adams? Why would they do that? Because the same reason.
But wait a minute. It's the same. You can say it the same way of Davante Adams. Why would a player that you – let me ask you a question. If you're a top-notch NFL athlete and you say, I got 14, but if I go out there and get injured, I can make $30, $40 million more, $50 million more guaranteed. And I can play for this $14 million, but my rest of my career is not insured or not ready. I'm not risking my future. And this is from a selfish perspective. This is not what I would do. I'm not stepping on the field. I'm already a proven entity. I'm proven. Why should I have to prove myself? Wait a minute. If I'm proven,
Chris,
I'm certified.
What does that have to do with the Raiders?
I'm
certified. What does it have to do with the Raiders? I'm giving you the final word.
I'm asking you. I'm giving you the explanation. I'm certified. I'm 100%. I'm proven that I can get this past year. The Raiders don't want to give Davante Adams that extension. That's why he's making this big deal. It's not because of the team. Davante's always been about his money. The Jets are probably willing to give him a 2 years extension. Okay? And so has Hassan Reddick. He's about his money. He don't care. So my thing is
Chris,
the Raiders have money.
The market for Davante Adams
the Raiders have tons of money. The Raiders have tons of money.
If you think you're just going to show up with Hassan Reddick and a second-round pick, brother, everybody wants Davante Adams. The Steelers, the Saints, there's a bunch of other teams as well. This is very widely known. So,
but the Saints. But wait a minute.
What exactly is like?
But wait a minute. The Saints.
More than that. Wait a minute.
Okay. You say the Saints.
Quickly,
you say the Saints. But as a Raiders fan that's paying every year, Las Vegas is a town. I'm going to accept a first-round pick next year. I'm coming to see the Raiders win this year. I need a pick and I need a player. I don't need just a pick. I need somebody that I can watch that can actually do something. You got the guy who can rush the passer. Wait a minute, on the other side of Max Crosby to get at Patrick Mahomes. I take that trade, and I guarantee you the Raiders are going to take that trade. Mark it down.
Jets Vikings. Jets Vikings. Give me your final score prediction, Chris.
Jets win in a blowout.
What score?
34-14. The Jets come back and win.
All right. Chris, thank you for calling in. Next time I have a show, I want to hear from you, all right? Listen, I disagree with Chris. He's giving us his takes. I disagree with that, though, man. I disagree with it. I listen, you cannot come out and continue to look like this, okay? You cannot come out and lose in this fashion to a Broncos team and just think you safe. I'm sorry. You can't. By the way, thinking that Aaron Rodgers is just going to be around for these next couple of years, this is not 25-year-old Aaron Rodgers. Did anybody else notice that? He's not 25. This man is like 40. He's at the end of his career here. Okay? So just thinking that the window's wide open, bro, y'all, like some Jets fans, and I've gone back and forth with a lot of people, y'all got to think, man. It's not like that. Never mind the fact that we got a bunch of guys that we're going to have to sign coming up as well. Sauce, Garrett, Jermaine Johnson, right? We just took care of Michael Carter II. AVT is around the corner, too. We're going to have to get him a deal. The New York Jets are about to spend a lot of money. Breece Hall, we're about to spend a lot of money if we keep a lot of these guys here. I'm telling you, if Sulla doesn't start to get something done, if we miss the playoffs, firing him is absolutely on the table, and we all knew that. I did shows during the offseason, and people literally called in saying, if you can't do something with Aaron Rodgers, the team looks the same, you should get fired. Super Bowl or bust. That's what I heard. I'm getting back to these lines again. 515-602-9639. 515-602-9639 is the number. Call in again. Salute to all the savages in the chat. I'll come to y'all. Give me your thoughts. Edward Stewart, I see you. I'll be coming to y'all in a second, but I got to get to these lines because they are hot. Next, we're going to Val. Val, we're coming to you. JJ, Jeremy, I see you. Bricks, we're coming to you in a second, but we got to get to Val. The circus has started. Dun, 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 dun. Val is a savage. Val salutes. I'm up going back and forth with people, man. I guess some people just believe Sulla can just do what he likes and everything's okay because he's going to stay here. Give me your thoughts about what you saw from the coaching staff here in this loss to the Broncos. I blame a lot of this loss on the Jets coaching staff. Do you agree?
100%. And shout out to all the savages. Shout out to, hit that like button for Joe. Thank you for our therapy, you know what I'm saying, so we can get some stress out. Wish it was after the game because it would have definitely been way more than
whoa.
Just
that would have been crazy, Val. Go ahead. That would have been crazy. After that game, whoa. It would have been crazy.
Oh, man, for sure. But listen, this is what I got to say, man. This is definitely on coaching. I do not know what the heck was going on in that game because that's a game we should have won 100%. We did not go against a veteran quarterback. We went against a rookie, possibly a person that resembles a Zach Wilson in a way. But he's not even that good. We were supposed to win that game. How many times the defense actually really showed up in this game, even though the run block towards the end wasn't as good and stuff? But they actually did a really good job. Shout out to DJ Reed. They was trying to target him all game, and this man showed up left and right, blocking the ball, being all over the wide receiver and stuff like that. You could tell he's trying to fish for that contract. He's on that contract here, and it's not even just because of his contract. He's been doing this ever since he's been a Jet. So that's one of Joe Douglas' strong suit of, one of the people that he can actually say that he actually got here that's been contributing and actually living up to his contract. So he's definitely shout out to him as well, too. And also, man, it's just like the coaching has been very bad. Too many penalties again. The tackling was much better. And the goal line, that goal line situation just really irks me. I swear it just irks me. And it's just like we have a bulldozer in this man, Braylon Allen, and then all you have to do is just run it in with him. Like, we don't have to put Solomon Thomas. I guess I was a little creative putting him at the as a fullback to try to get in there. But it's just like it's not working with Breece Hall right now. Breece Hall, I understand, and this is when we had our last conversation. I had like a little situation. I'm just like, I don't know what's going on with Breece Hall right now. He's not looking the way how he's supposed to be looking right now, Joe. Like, and I knew I was saying I wasn't tripping, but it's really facts, man. It's just he has not really looked the same that he's supposed to be looking. But like I said, hopefully he gets it back together, and hopefully he gets back to his old self. But Braylon Allen is the guy right now that should have been running. We should have at least had 2 touchdowns in that game, at least 2 touchdowns. And this is my thing about the Patriots. When I told you that I expected us to really blow them out, like we got the win, but I expected like a 35 to 40 something win. That's how I knew a lot of stuff wasn't really flowing the way how it's supposed to be flowing, and you could tell by the communication as well too between Aaron Rodgers and Garrett Wilson is not 100% on right now, and we really need to get that together and stuff like that. And they gotta definitely get it together, you know.
Yeah, they do. I mean, it's insane to watch what we watched. The fact that we couldn't get Braylon Allen the ball on the goal line, the fact that he wasn't brought in is insane. And I know people are trying to say like that play to the right, the pass was created. I don't think so. You look at this situation. You got Mike Williams. Why are you not throwing a fade in the end zone to Mike Williams? Why not?
Right.
That's what I'm saying.
That's
go up and get it, guys.
That's a strong suit is red zone.
It's like it doesn't make sense to me. The offensive issues that we have here is just mind blowing. It's mind blowing, and I don't understand it whatsoever. I really don't. This is squarely, most of this falls squarely on coaching. Again, and you talked about it, the penalties as well. Mind blowing to see this team again come out and be heavily penalized. 13 penalties in this game. And this is where I get frustrated, Val, because I feel like, what is he going to do to make this change? Because every single year we see the same thing. You're coming out and just gifting people extra yardage in their drives. You're setting yourself back with penalties as well. We're always heavily penalized under Sulla. I mean, what do you think the coaching staff could do to hold these guys accountable so that these penalties don't continue?
It's basically the same thing, Joe. It's like we've been going through this. This was, when I watched this game, it resembled the Giants game of last year. It resembled the Patriots game of last year. When we was in the rain, it was a whole bunch of just going back and forth. No, it wasn't a lot of punts, but we could have at least got some scores in. And it's just like, it's terrible, man. This is like a vintage Robert Saleh coaching team. And it's just ridiculous. It's not getting cleaned up. It's like he's not progressing as a head coach. And this is what I'm saying. This guy, I'm not too strong of him. I don't like him as a head coach. I'm going to just be honest with you, Joe. I don't like him as a head coach. He's a very good guy, but he's just not ready to be a head coach. I feel like he's better as a defensive coordinator. Yes, him as a recruiter of getting talent in here, I will say yes. He's definitely helped out with that as well, too. We got a lot of people from the San Francisco 49ers. You know, a lot of people like to play for him, but him as a head coach is just hasn't worked out. He's not that type of guy. And I feel like offensively, we probably have to get an offensive head coach, to be honest with you. We're going to have to switch it up because we're always known for defense. And don't get me wrong, I do love his defense. When he came here, it definitely brought that we've been working on the pass rushing game. The pass rushing game has elevated to an all-time high, and that's was something that we've been missing. Even we missed on this game too, but we still held the defense. We still held that offense off of for 10 points. I mean, you can't. I mean, you can't hold them off for too long. I mean, the defense definitely showed up a lot. You know, in this game, the tackling was much better. The sideline to sideline defense was much better from what we've seen in San Francisco. So that definitely improved. But as of Robert Saleh, he just gotta, I don't know, man. he might have to go after the season if things doesn't go right. If things doesn't go right, he might have to go. I'm sorry.
Listen, if the Jets miss the playoffs and they continue to look like
gone.
this, unprepared, sloppy, I cannot see how he'd survive that. If they continue to look like this, he's going to get fired.
Joe Douglas as well too.
I was just about to say that.
Yeah,
and you know what's crazy is that
Douglas.
Yeah, in the off season, routinely people will call in and have this discussion. If the Jets come out and they don't take care of business with all their talent, Joe, they're all going to get fired, including Joe Douglas. We all knew coming into this year that they were all on the hot seat. We all talked about it constantly, and now it's like everybody's acting like that's not true and that they could not, meet any kind of expectations. Woody Johnson himself came out, and he didn't put a mandate, but he clearly made it very clear that the Jets have to be better than what he saw last season. And if they continue like this, I don't see how Seller's going to keep his job. I don't. But again, we'll see. I don't want to see him fired, but if this continues, this type of stuff, heavily penalized, sloppy, which is what we've seen a lot this season, I don't see if there's anything else that you could do. Now, there's also been a breaking story, Val. Davante Adams comes out and tells the Raiders, hey, I'm open to be traded. He'd prefer to be traded. What are your thoughts about that? And again, more links to the New York Jets. Do you think the Jets will make a move for Davante Adams?
I mean, listen, this is an all-in year, and like I said, we have to try to make that move. I know it might not work out. This might be a pipe dream and stuff like that. And the Raiders have no, they don't have to trade him to the Jets. They can trade him anywhere he wants, anywhere they want him to go. You know what I'm saying? So it's not really on us. We have to just make up the best package and stuff like that, because the Raiders could be like, screw you. We just trade you to the Browns or something like that, or the Panthers.
Mm-hmm.
You want to go to another team, we could trade you right to the Panthers, and you can get your money if you want to get your money and stuff like that. But I really feel like this is. I don't know if you've seen this, Joe, but it was a series on Netflix called Wide Receiver. They did last year was quarterback, but this year was wide receiver. Like Davante Adams, he wants to win. He looks at the long game. He basically was frustrated that the wide receivers wasn't connecting with him and stuff like that, and he's basically going through what Hopkins is going through. He's been going through with a lot of below average quarterbacks, and it's not working out. And he's he's complaining that he's wasting his years, and he's basically, his career is on the line because the way how the quarterbacks are passing the ball, he could get hurt. And he was complaining about that as well too. And, he took some horrible shots during last season and stuff, and he expressed that.
Yeah.
And he was kind of fed up with the organization. So I knew going into this year that he was going to be very frustrated if he didn't get that right quarterback in here, and they didn't get the right quarterback, and they already went to another quarterback. So he's just fed up, and he basically wants to go. So, I'm pretty sure him and Aaron Rodgers is still connected, still talking, and I'm pretty sure that Aaron Rodgers is going to try to push to get him to come to the Jets. And will it happen? Let's see. I don't know how salary-wise and how the cap looks like when it comes to that, and just like you said with the last previous caller, I mean, the Raiders don't have to take on the headache of Haason Reddick. I mean, why would they?
They sure don't.
You know what I'm saying?
They sure don't.
They don't. They don't have to.
No.
And what is the chances of Haason Reddick agreeing to a situation and he gets traded there and he does the same thing to them? So it's just like they're not trying to risk that, and they don't have no history with Haason Reddick. So his rap sheet right now is very bad, So I don't know, but for me, I would say pull the trigger if you could do it,
Okay.
I want to
listen. I hear you. Yeah. What is the most you'd be willing to give up as far as capital? My final question.
As far as capital, yes. All right. So as far as capital, I would say a second-round pick, or probably a sixth-round pick as well too, and a player. It will probably have to be Haason Reddick. If they want him, I'm not sure if it's going to be him, or a possible. I would say we can't trade Allen Lazard. I don't know if we could trade Allen Lazard. I would definitely put him in the package. We go for Green Bay former wide receivers, to his favorite gadget guy and Allen and Devontae Adams and stuff like that. And that, I think that would definitely be a good trade right there. Allen Lazard actually showed up this year, so I definitely will do that as well too. But I think Allen, I will go with that trade right there. To answer your question.
Give me your final score prediction. Jets, Vikings. Who do you think wins? Who do you think loses? How do you think it ends up?
This is definitely not going to be a blowout. I don't know what the last caller was talking about. Shout out to you, though. Because as much as I don't like Sam Darnold, but that man is balling. You just have to give him a number one, the best wide receiver in the league, and he's actually doing his thing. And like I said, I know Sam Darnold. He's always good for one interception and turning over the ball, so you can always bet on that. So, but he's balling. I'll definitely give him that. So this is going to be a very, very tough game. It's at 9:30 in the morning in London and stuff like that. So I got to see how the team comes out. But I'm going to say this is going to be a tight game. And hopefully things turn around. But I'm going to go with 21-14 Jets. I'm going with the Jets to win this game.
Val, I want to thank you for calling in. Next time I have a show, I want to hear from you, all right?
Absolutely, Joe. Listen, we're trying to get a Super Bowl. Let's beat this undefeated streak from the Vikings, and let's see how this team is, because this is a great test.
This is one of the hottest teams in the NFL. Absolutely. You have a good one, Val. Listen, a lot of things moving and shaking. I don't know, man. I don't know. If the Jets come out sloppy and lethargic against the Vikings, boy, you're going to have to call it a day. This is a team that will put you away. We're going to continue to talk about everything we got going on. I'm telling you, this Devontae Adams situation, as we know, is continuing to heat up. There's going to be a lot of teams out there trying to vie for your services. 515-602-9639. 515-602-9639 is the number. Call in. Next! I'm going to Brick City. Brick City, I'm coming directly to you. JJ, you'll be next. New callers as well. Hold on. We're getting to everybody tonight. Just hold on, okay? But we got to get to Brick City. For those of you that do not know, listen, this man, Brick City, believe me, okay, when I say this, he's a savage.
Oh,
Brick
man,
City
you ain't hear nothing yet.
Yo, I can't wait. Listen, Jets lose to the Broncos 10-9. I put a lot of this loss on coaching. The penalties were atrocious. The offensive game plan, lack of adjustments, I think, is atrocious. We didn't blitz Bo Nix nearly enough. Give me your thoughts about the loss.
We play like hot garbage all three phases of the game. Offensively, defensively, special teams. We even though we play like crap, we couldn't even close it out in our own building. And Aaron Rodgers was getting hit way too much. I hope he's not, he was grabbing his thumbs. He was limping off the field. And everybody looked lethargic, like you said earlier in the call. It's like, what's going on? Is everybody on ayahuasca or something? And we just sleepwalking like the Walking Dead? This is home. I don't want to hear about the weather. This is Jersey, bro. I live in Jersey for real. I'm 15 minutes away from the stadium for real. Not even 15 minutes. I get there in 10 for real. Like, seriously, this is the weather. You from Green Bay, you guys played in this weather. It wasn't like you guys haven't been prepared in Seattle, Robert Saleh, where you're originally from. Like, you've been in nasty weather. There's always nasty weather in Seattle. That's how it is in Jersey sometimes. Oh, well, it's football. Get over it. How do Sean Payton, stays on the East Coast, beat you guys, and said what he said coming off the halftime show when he was getting interviewed, walking out the tunnel? He says it's going to be defensively, he also said it's going to be field position, and that's what exactly happened. They look like that on that Bo Nix touchdown, it looked like it was a miscommunication on the back end, but I believe if there was no miscommunication, our corners would have locked it down. But hey, things happen. Defense is getting tired. I'm glad we're getting Big Boy back from off the PUP list or off the injury list, whatever the case may be. We need to stop the run. We need to stop the run for real, because the Vikings look scary, man.
Mm-hmm. Oh, the Vikings are absolutely scary. They're a very scary football team, and they're a hot team. They're 4-0. Sam Darnold's over there cooking. And that's where I want to go with you, because when you look at this situation, man, if the Jets don't come out prepared, if Sulla cannot get them prepared to go against the Vikings, you come out and you play sleepy and lethargic against them, they will put you away fast. All right, we're seeing resurgence in Sam Darnold over there with the Vikings. He's finding Justin Jefferson early and often. And that offense is serious business. They'll put it together, and that's where I want to go with you first, man. Because when you look at this situation, man, it's going to be, they're going to test the Jets defense in various ways. And I'm wondering, man, do you think we'll be able to get some pressure on Sam Darnold? Because Sulla didn't want to blitz Bo Nix. Sulla didn't want to blitz Bo Nix, right? No, there was no sacks against Bo Nix. If you don't get to Sam Darnold, he's going to find somebody. Sam is now, he's not Aaron Rodgers in his prime, but Sam can throw the ball, man. Sam can spin. So if you don't get pressure on Sam Darnold, it's going to be a long day. Give me your thoughts. Do you think the Jets' pass rush will be able to get after Sam?
We better come out the gate ticked off. And if we don't, it's going to be a long morning for everybody. And this heat will just keep getting hotter and hotter and hotter. That's the PG way of me saying it. I already got the prediction in my head. I do see Sam going for 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. I see Rodgers going for 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. But yeah, the Vikings on offense, they already got they got one of the best receivers in the league. I'm not, that's going to be a good matchup, him and Sauce. I can't wait for that. But the running game, just stopping the run. That's been the main concern for the last 4 weeks is the running game. Where's this energy that, I could just break. I don't want to take too much time. I just want to break down, each 4 games. We came out like crap opening night against San Francisco. Okay, all right, that's a mulligan, right? Then week 2, we barely scrapped by a scrappy Titans team, okay, with Will Levis. We got lucky on that one. Then all of a sudden we just start firing on all cylinders Thursday night against the Patriots. It's like, we woke up now. Okay, I'm feeling good. And all of a sudden it's the typical Jet letdown. Where's the leadership? Everybody want to talk about culture. Everybody want to talk about locker room leaders. Everybody want to talk about, we need a CEO coach that can motivate. Nah, these are grown men making millions of dollars. This is a business. Let's keep it all the way 1,800%. It's a business at the end of the day. I'm trying to figure out. I heard some. I'm just mad at all Jet fans today, but I said to myself, imagine Rex Ryan with all this talent. How many Super Bowls can we get out of Rex? Because Rex Ryan was a leader of men. Yeah. I question Robert Saleh's heart right now. You got to. You have Aaron Rodgers in the building for 2 years. How is he not clicking with the offense? He's here in the building for 2 years. And I'm not one of these, crazy callers, that's on, mushrooms talking crazy, Chris. You know what I'm saying?
No, I mean, listen. You're speaking facts, and I don't think that. And this is what I don't understand, and I've had a lot of discussions with multiple Jets fans. It's like if you question Robert Saleh after this, it's like anybody that even questions him. There's a lot of Jets fans that are just screaming, "Oh, you shouldn't." It's like, listen, man. We've been seeing that there's some questionable things going on here with Saleh and his coaching staff, whether it be getting guys prepared, whether it be holding guys accountable, the issues with penalties continuing to bite us, right? We've seen this not just in this season. We've seen this in the past since he's gotten here, especially the issues with penalties. This needs to be addressed because if you continue to do those things, you will lose to these top teams. You'll lose to these bottom-tier teams. We just lost to the Broncos because of this. We just did that. It literally just happened. We just did this. So it's like when you consistently are seeing the same thing over and over and over again and again, this is not a Zach Wilson-led football team. You got Aaron Rodgers. You got weapons here, and we're seeing the same thing. When you're coming out against a Broncos team that swung from their spot all the way over to your house and beat you 10-9, this is a team that you should put away if we're talking about competing to win Super Bowls, because that's what y'all talked about all offseason. It was Saleh and Joe Douglas literally, you guys can go back and read articles and watch interviews where they talk about Super Bowl expectations, where they talk about playoffs and winning it all. Aaron Rodgers came in the door talking about he wanted to win it all. So why now are we acting like none of that happened and we shouldn't have big expectations and we got so much time with Aaron Rodgers? We don't. Aaron Rodgers does not have forever. You got to get it done. Even talking about motivating these players, these aren't like we have some young players on the roster, but a lot of these guys aren't rookies. Like we have a lot of veterans on this football team. Look along our offensive line. We don't have no rookies on our offensive line. These are guys that have been here. Breece Hall's not a rookie, right? He's not. Braylon Allen is, but he's playing unbelievable. Right? He's playing unbelievable.
And
he's
you should play the hot hand.
Hey,
I mean,
exactly. I mean, you look at our wide receiver core. Like Malachi Corley ain't out there. They not running him. These other guys, they're not rookies. Mike Williams not a rookie. Neither is Lazard. Neither is Garrett Wilson. So it's like, okay, if you're having to motivate these players, like, then get it done. Or you sit them down. That should be motivation. Unless you're going out there and completing the task, unless you're going out there and playing solid, sound football and not getting penalties, then you're not going to play. If you're not getting it done, you're not going to play. Aaron Rodgers said, hold guys accountable. Point blank, period. And I'm waiting for Sulla to do that because we've had these same issues since he's been here, and he's got to get that together. Because if he doesn't, we're going to have issues against these upper echelon teams consistently. And if we're talking about winning, I don't know how you're going to get there if you don't beat these top teams in the league. I don't know how you're going to do it. I don't. Because the playoffs are not filled with Titans. They're not filled with Broncos. They're not filled with, all these other low-bottom teams. No, the playoffs are filled with the Niners and the Vikings and the Eagles and the Chargers and the Chiefs and all these teams that, the scary ones. That's how you get to win that ring. So we've got to clean it up. But before I let you go, Brick City, give me your thoughts on the Davante Adams situation. Do you want to see the Jets make a move for him? What do you, if you were the Jets GM, what's the most you'd be willing to give up for him? Give me your thoughts, man.
I mean, this might sound controversial because we just drafted this player, but I'll offer, since we ain't using him, Malachi Corey, since he's already worth a third-round pick in this year's draft, and I'll give a fifth. I'm not giving up on Malachi Corey. I'm just trying to find a realistic reason because I'm seeing Jet fans all across on Facebook. You probably seen it too, Joe, that some of these people want to get rid of Garrett Wilson. I'm like, listen, are you guys like Chris? Y'all smoking on some bad stuff right now? What's wrong with you guys? Like this young man with 7 different quarterbacks has 2,000-yard seasons. All right, if there's a reason why him and Rodgers is not clicking right now. We don't know what's really going on, honestly. Like my thinking is like, wait a minute. Hold on, you guys haven't been clicking. Guys have 2 years. Like, wait a minute, y'all not working out together in the off season? What's going on over here? Like something's a little off. Something's a little off here. I'm not trying to accuse nobody or nothing, but my spider senses is tingling. So sometimes I'm right, sometimes I'm wrong, but my spider senses is tingling. A little conspiracy theory to throw out there, but like I said, there's a lot of savages that want to give you, want to call in and stuff. Now I just want to say my prediction is that Davante Adams, Malachi Corey in the 5th round pick to answer your question.
Wow. Okay. I don't know.
I think that's fair. I think that's fair. I mean, wasn't Brandon Marshall like 31, 32 when we got him for a 5th round pick? And even though Davante Adams is better than Brandon Marshall,
and there was a lot of things. I'm not going to disrespect or Brandon Marshall was a great wide receiver. There's a lot of things that was going on with Brandon Marshall too, and they the team's ready to move on from him. But
I don't take nothing away from him. I'm not going to take nothing away from him. Brandon Marshall's a beast.
This market for Davante Adams is going to be vast. There's going to be a lot of teams. I suspect that somebody's going to be willing to give up a 1st round plus for him. Absolutely. Somebody's going to be willing to give up a 1st round plus for Davante Adams, for sure. And I don't know if
I'm sorry to cut you off, Joe. My bad.
Well, go ahead.
To answer your question, there's like certain teams that will give a 1st round pick. So let's see who really needs a receiver really badly. The Raiders are not going to trade Davante Adams to get a ring with Patrick Mahomes, so we can scratch off the Super Bowl champs here. Let's see another team that might need a receiver. They're not going to send them to the Chargers.
They're not going to. They're not going to trade him in division, but there's definitely two
teams
that have been talked about. One of them is the Saints, and the other is the Steelers. Now, there's a lot of other teams as well that are in the shadows right now. Yeah, a lot of there's other teams that are in the shadows right now as well. There's rumors swirling. There's other teams in the shadows, and they are waiting to see what the floor is going to be as far as capital that they're going to have to give up. But the Saints and the Steelers, I think, absolutely will be vying for his services. And the Saints have never been one to scrimp when it comes to money or capital. Now, they don't do stupid stuff. They're not just going to throw capital away. But I could see them giving up a first. I could see the Steelers doing it too. Or putting a package to give up somewhere close to a first. Absolutely.
For the last, almost 20 years, the Saints have been a better run organization than us. So they know what they're doing down there in New Orleans. But yeah, I mean, whatever. I mean, in Joe Douglas, we trust. I still believe in Joe Douglas more than Robert Saleh. I truly feel like if JD has the grapefruits, if things ain't in order by the bye week, or matter of fact, no. Excuse me. Let me stop. If these next two games we don't either go 2-0 or 1-1, Robert Saleh needs to be fired immediately Tuesday after Monday night against the Bills. I'm serious. I'm serious. Let the tight end coach. And I like the tight end coach. He's a leader of men. Robert Saleh is not a leader of men. He's a good coordinator. He's probably a good motivational speaker, but he's not a leader of men.
I hear what you're saying, Brick City. I don't think they'll do it. Give me your final score prediction before I let you go.
I mean, come on, Jet fans. You know I bleed green and white till I die. So I'm not going against my boys this week. You know, and I got to put myself on a T-shirt too. I was talking mad crazy about the Broncos. So myself, James Bull, right up north New Jersey, I had to put myself on a T-shirt. You know, I was talking crazy on the internet and everything. So I had to put, it's fair is fair, right? So, but to answer your question, my man, we're going to bounce back. 2-minute drill in the fourth quarter. Aaron Rodgers, Garrett Wilson for a touchdown, baby. To win the game, 24-17. Let's go, Jets.
Brick City calling in with a call. We're going to keep getting to the lines. 515-602-9639. 515-602-9639 is the number. Call in. Next, we're going to JJ. JJ, we're coming directly to you, okay? For those of you that do not know, this man, JJ, he's a savage.
Yes, sir.
JJ, salutes. We've been sitting here talking, man. So many things moving and shaking. Listen, this Broncos loss was bad, man. It just annoyed me.
Boy.
So many things moving and shaking. What were your thoughts about this loss, man, to the Broncos?
I'm still infuriated, man. I guess the only good thing is the rest of the division all lost, but then it's also frustrating. It's like, could have gained some ground on these teams, right? So in a sense it's good, and then in a sense it's bad in a way. So, but about this Denver game, right? I know everyone's getting on the coaches, right? Deservedly so. But listen, I got to put some blame on our so-called stars, okay? Breece Hall, Garrett Wilson. I got to give these guys, I got to be honest here. Do we kind of act like these two are superstars before they really proved it? Because let's be real, Garrett Wilson looks nothing like a wide receiver one at all. Breece Hall looks absolutely just, I don't even know what the word is, but he does not look good at all. That was one of the worst games I've seen a running back have versus Denver. He missed like 5 blocks. He's getting penalties. He's dropping passes. He can't hit a hole to save his life. It looks like he's running in mud out there. He just looks slow. He just looks. Braylon Allen, it should at least be a split in the backfield, at minimum. at minimum.
Yeah, and that's what's got me wondering, JJ. Because look, I love Brees. I think he's a good player, but there's something going on with him. I don't know what it is, but he's looked like this since the start of the season.
Yeah,
right.
I agree.
Like this since the start of the season. He doesn't look like himself. He doesn't look like he did last season or the season before that, before the injury. He doesn't look like himself. There's something going on. I don't know if he's thinking too much, if he's too, antsy to try to get up and handle business. Maybe that's why we're seeing false starts, because he's just ready to jump to protect. I don't know what's happening, but I do know this. I do know that Braylon Allen is coming out, and he looks unbelievable. You hand this young kid the football, he's running through people. He's handling business. He's getting to where he needs to go. And so if you're a coach seeing that, I don't understand how you don't start to lean and utilize Braylon a bit more, because he seems like the hot hand. Why wouldn't you ride the hot hand if you see that this young guy is heating up? I mean, what are your thoughts on that, JJ? The fact that they seem to shy away from Braylon to feed Brees more at times.
Yeah, I can't agree more. And especially at the one. I mean, Braylon Allen's, he's a thumper. He's a big boy. There's I would have bet my life that he would have scored at least one of those 3 or 4 plays. No doubt in my mind. And Brees Hall is just tiptoeing at the one. Allen should have been in there, man. I was screaming at the TV, literally, like, before we even turned it over on downs. I'm like, we got to give the ball to Allen right here. Like, I mean, anybody would have known that. Like, listen, but again, Brees and Garrett, if we want to go where we think we could go, those two are going to have to be way, way, way better. I'm putting the blame so far on those two more than anybody. I'm sorry. We act like they're superstars. Prove it. You got to prove it to me. Because right now, no, not even close, either of them. I'm sorry.
What are your thoughts about these? What are your thoughts about these penalties, man? Because this is something that has been an issue since Fella has gotten here. We're constantly heavily penalized. I mean, at what point, JJ, do you think that he'll start to hold guys accountable so these penalties aren't an issue anymore?
It seems like he doesn't. Like, it seems it's like he wants to be buddy-buddy. You're not their friend. You're their coach. Your job is on the line. Like, if these penalties keep happening, we keep losing games in ugly fashion, you're out of here. You got to start holding these guys accountable. I don't care if it's the best player. I don't care if it's the 50th man on the roster. You got to hold these guys accountable. I want to see yelling at people that make mistakes. That's what I want to see. I don't need it to be their friend. This is a must-win season.
Yeah.
These penalties just can't happen. These self-inflicted wounds just can't happen, man. I mean, Lazard, he gets a big catch for first down, and then he gets penalized for a celebration. I mean, what are we doing out here? What are we doing? Catch the ball and act like he's done it before, please.
Yeah. It's mind-boggling, JJ. I mean, there were so many just horrific penalties. All game, the 4 stars. All game. Oh, my goodness. And again, this is something we've seen all this season. We've seen it all this season, too. We had a ton of penalties against the Patriots as well. I think it was like 10 for 106 yards and penalty yards. Just atrocious stuff. We cannot continue to do this, and we're seeing it come back and bite us in the rear when we play teams like the Broncos. Now, going over to this game against the Vikings, man, I'm looking at this Vikings team. They're extremely hot right now. They're cooking. Oh, boy, the offense is moving, is swinging. And I want to ask you this, man. The first thing I look at is this Vikings running game is serious business. They got Aaron Jones.
He's having a good year, too, man.
Yeah, he is not a joke at all. How concerned are you about this Vikings running game going up against them, in London?
Yeah, you got to be concerned. Again, like the pass, we're doing really well against the pass, but teams that are physical up front and have a good running game, my concern's always going to be very high. Yeah, so I'm highly concerned about Jones. He's balling.
Do you think we'll be able to get any pressure on Sam Darnold?
Oh boy, I mean, we got no pressure versus Denver, and this is probably a better O-line than Denver, right? So I'm not overly optimistic about that, to be honest with you, man. It's going to be tough, but that would be the Jets, right? You have a terrible loss. Wouldn't that be so Jets? And then you pull off the upset, no one thinks you're going to,
Yeah.
That's the Jets,
I mean, the
right?
Jets, listen,
the Jets?
the Jets have the Jets have the talent and tools to be a top team in this league. And that's why the loss to the Broncos is so frustrating. Because a lot of people, a lot of Jets fans were saying, okay, we took a tough one to the Niners, but now we're going into the soft part of the schedule where we were supposed to dominate teams.
Exactly.
And we came out against the Titans, Titans, and kind of stumbled out the breaks, but found a way to win that game. We dominated the Patriots, and then you come out, and even though we were heavily penalized in that game and there were sloppy points, but we handled business. And then you go against the Broncos. They come into your house, and that is a team that you should beat. And you end up losing
How do you lose
to them
a game
9-10.
where a quarterback has less than 100 yards, man?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's crazy.
It?
He had -7 at the half. We lost to Bo Nix. He had -7 yards at the half pass.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
It's crazy.
That's unbelievable.
But
it's
my final question for you, JJ. Give me your thoughts, man. Davante Adams has openly said that he's willing, he wants to be traded from the Raiders. He prefers to be traded.
Yeah.
You're a Jets fan, man, just like me. Do you want to see the Jets make this move? And if so, if you're the general manager, what's the most you're willing to give up?
Oh, boy. He's 30 years old, but he's still really good. And again, to my previous point, that Garrett Wilson does not look like a wide receiver one. So I think that would kind of help him. Maybe get the number 2 corner on him, on Wilson, right? So it can kind of help you in 2 different ways. If I could get him, I got to pull the trigger on it. I wouldn't want to give up a second if I didn't have to, but I think there's going to, like you said, there's going to be a lot of interest, right? Mm-hmm. So you're most likely going to have to give up a 2. I would do, in a perfect world, I would want to give up like a 3 and a 5 because we actually have 2 third-round picks this year. We got the Lions' third-round pick from the draft trade last year. So that wouldn't hurt us as much to give up a third because we would still have another one. In a perfect world, a 3 and a 5. But would I do a 2 and a 5? I think so.
Would you be willing to give up a first?
No.
No first? Okay.
No
That's
first.
Where you take a stand, huh? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
No first. No. Can't give up a first.
All right. Final score prediction from you, JJ. Jets, Vikings. Who do you think wins? Who do you think loses? How do you think it ends up?
I'm going to go. We're pulling the upset. I'm going Jets 24, Vikings 20.
Okay.
Let's get a bounce back.
Listen, JJ, I want to thank you for calling in. Next time I have a show, I want to hear. Listen, man. Whew. Hot show, man. I tell you what, man. Robert, there's talking to a lot of Jets fans that are just thinking that Robert Saleh is safe. I don't think he's as safe as y'all think he is. Some of y'all, if the Jets continue to come out and look like this, look unprepared, and then look sloppy, I do not see how he stays the head coach of the New York Jets. I just don't see how he does it. And I am not screaming for him to be fired. I'm not. All right, the number to call in is 515-602-9639. I am not screaming for him to be fired. That is not what I'm doing. What I'm saying is I don't see how he keeps his job if you continue to play like this. I don't see it. I don't get it. Because if you come out and play like you did against the Broncos, against any of these other top, if you come out like this against the Vikings, what do you think is going to happen? What do you think is going to happen? They have the weapons, the tools, and the skill to put you away immediately. Okay? Immediately. It's insane. It's completely insane. And I don't see it. I don't see it. We all knew that this was a year that they were all in the hot seat. All in the hot seat. So they better perform. Because if they don't, at the end of the season, It's going to be a tough call. It's going to be a very tough call. But I think that Woody more than likely is going to lean to move on from all of them. I remember Jets fans calling in saying that, yes, Joe Douglas on the hot seat. This could be it. If the Jets don't make the playoffs, he's out of here all off season, especially after the acquisition of Aaron Rodgers, because we finally got the quarterback we've all wanted and needed. Okay? Salute to Outlaw in the chat, Savage. He says, we have 1 year or 2 year, another 2 year window with Aaron Rodgers because we have to pay the rest of the players from the 2022 draft. Yeah. And that's another thing. There's a lot of Jets fans that think that the window is just wide open with Aaron Rodgers. There's no guarantee that he's going to be here two or three more years at all. At all. And that's why it was all about making sure that everything was buttoned up this year, point blank, period. We're all in. This is an all-in year. This is a must-win year. We talked about we acquired Tyron Smith in free agency. They went and made the move for Morgan Moses. They went and got John Simpson. This was, hey, shore up all of the issues. Aaron Rodgers is finally healthy. We're all in. It's time to go. We talked about this in the offseason, all offseason. This is our chance to throw our names in the hat. We're going to do everything that it takes to get the big W this season. Jets fans calling in left and right saying Super Bowl or bust. Not just during the offseason, all the way up to before this week or before this past week. That's a fact. I don't understand. If he's not getting it done, I don't think there's anything that's really going to save him. You're going to have Jets fans screaming for him to be out of here, and they'll have a legitimate case. I don't want to see Sulla get fired, but you can't keep coming out here and putting this product on the field that we're seeing. Aaron Sharp salutes and respects him. He says, as a Cowboys fan, I feel you. All talent players, high expectations, and it's a failure once again. Oof. Season's not over. Season's not over. I want to be clear about that. It's not over. We got more time. But we got to cut out the sloppiness. That's what we got to cut out. All right? We've got to cut that out. It's atrocious. So now to talk quickly about the Vikings game and give y'all my thoughts on it. Listen, Sam Darnold is a guy you got to get pressure on immediately. Sulla has got to change the game plan this week. You come out and don't blitz him, Sam Darnold will pick you apart for sure. For sure he's going to pick you apart, for sure. All right? You got to get some pressure on him immediately, early. He's also a guy that can move a little bit too. Don't get caught sleeping, okay? He can move outside the pocket a little bit. Now, he's not the fastest, but he can get some first down with his feet too. You have to get pressure on him. Will McDonald, let's keep it rolling, baby. You got to get back and get these sacks, okay? Get back and get these sacks. Aaron Jones, their running game, goodness gracious. They already know. We already know what they're going to try to do. They're going to try to line up and run some power stuff at us. We got to be prepared and ready for that. If we can't stop the Vikings running game, we're going to have a long day. We're going to have a long day. The big man, Justin Jefferson. Sauce, this is your time, baby. This is your time. This is a top wide receiver in this league. Some people consider him the best in the league. I'm not going to argue against it. He is phenomenal. He's unbelievable. This is Sauce's time. He's going to have to step up and cover this man and shut him down, but also Jordan Addison is a good wide receiver as well. DJ Reed is going to be on him. There's going to be interesting battles, man. Interesting battles. Listen, offensively, the Jets have got to come out and get things together. We got to establish the run. Breece Hall's got to step up. These sloppy starts, I don't know what's going on with him. He's got a lot of things happening. Missing blocks, missing assignments, missing holes, not hitting the hole hard. That's got to get cleaned up. And if he's not getting things going early, then guess what? Start getting the ball to Braylon Allen. Let's ride the hot hand. Let's go. Also, let's draw up more plays for Mike Williams, please. Can we do that? Can we make that happen? I want to see Garrett Wilson more involved in the offense this week. Had a tough out against Surtain. But I'm always looking around wondering why every other team around this league, from the Chiefs to the Chargers to, heck, even the Vikings, they find a way to get their guy the football. They draw up plays that are designed to get their guy the football. Why can't the Jets do that? There should be plays drawn up to get Garrett Wilson the football. In crunch time, we know that the Chiefs are going to find a way to get Travis Kelce the ball. That's just a fact. It's going to happen. That should be the exact same way here with the New York Jets. So I'm looking to see Garrett Wilson have a better week this week against the Vikings than he did against the Broncos. Mike Williams, I need him more involved in the offense. And I also want to see our tight ends, get utilized as well this upcoming week. And a big thing here is, man, this Vikings pass rush is serious business. This Jets O-line got to get it together, because let me tell you something. Aaron Rodgers got beat the Broncos. 5 sacks, and he took some shots. He took some shots early. You cannot have that against the Broncos, or you cannot have that against the Vikings, because these guys are just, they'll decapitate them. Please protect Aaron Rodgers more effectively and step it up there. So with that said, it's a tough week. I am taking Vikings to beat the Jets. I'm taking the Vikings to beat the Jets. 24-17. I'm taking the Vikings now. I think it's going to be close. The Vikings pull away late in the game. Taking the Vikings to beat the Jets. That was tough. That was tough for me to say, but that's how I feel. Phenomenal show. Salutes and respect to all the savages in the chat. Great callers tonight. Listen, I'm the man of the people. I'm here for the people. Let me shamelessly promote my Facebook page. Everyone go on Facebook, search The Long Beach Joe Show. Like that page. My content's up there as well. Go ahead and give it a listen. Message me. I'll message you right back. I love going back and forth with you folks about this football team. Also, leave me some feedback. I love hearing what you folks think about what I do here on The Long Beach Joe Show. I'm also on Twitter as well. Going over to Twitter. Okay, type in @The Long Beach Joe, @The Long Beach Joe on Twitter. All right? So follow your boy, okay? And I'll follow you right back. If you want to troll me, no issues. I'm the troll that lives under the bridge, and I will have my Vera Tucker jersey on at all times. At all times, okay? Elijah Vera Tucker, he rolling, all right? The offensive line's got to come together, man. False starts, a lot of holdings, calls. We got to clean that up, all right? But Vera Tucker's shining, okay? So we'll be down there, all right? Also on YouTube as well. Going over to YouTube, type in Long Beach Joe Jets, Long Beach Joe Jets on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification bell so when I post content, you folks will be in the know, all right? Also, give the streams and videos a thumbs up when you do that, and share them across your social media with your friends and your family, all right? I want to thank everybody that does that. It's greatly appreciated. Getting those comments in the YouTube as well. If you want to troll me, get in the comments and troll me, and I'll troll you right back, okay? And as always, people, when you see me in person, because you will see me in person, I'll be outside, okay? I don't hide, all right? When you see me in person, it is arms out, chest open, free hugs for everyone. Free hugs for everyone. The hugs will cost you absolutely nothing. I want to thank you folks for taking the time out of your day to listen, to follow, to interact with your boy any way that you do with this show, okay? It's greatly appreciated, because without y'all, I'm nothing, all right? And I want to thank y'all for doing that, okay? I appreciate it. So until the next show, you folks have a good one.